need to update this week's position. We'll be on side control for the next 2 weeks. Twitch Prime thing? I don't know, dude. I mean, maybe get Twitch Prime and find out, man.
Hey, that seems like a decent option.
The running thread now from stream to stream is Josh's quest for Pikachu.
It started way back when in the late 90s, early 2000s.
All
Still
right. Let's see. So we're doing Monday's Nogi footage. Were you there for this?
Monday? Yeah.
Okay. I might be up there tomorrow. We'll see how my neck's feeling. Definitely had to give myself a break. Oh, Josh in the white rash guard now. All right, we got, let's see, Matt and Jordan. Matt on a single with his head on the outside, and Jordan showing him why he's just not ready for that yet. Matt manages to escape. And what did Steven get there? Oh, Steven was trying to give Ronnie a taste of her own medicine. A little bit nicer of a put down. A little slim for a Monday. I guess we got...
It really was. I think between spring break and stuff, it thinned out.
Yeah. I'm just glad you know your place, Josh. Oh, Caleb's back. All right.
And Austin.
And Austin. Hopefully he did all his homework. Cole from out of nowhere. I like Austin's takedown.
Yeah, he went in for a single off of an over tie.
So he
I
kind of
have here.
snaps you down with that level change.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just leaving his legs behind.
And he was really making me nervous here because right about here, I get a heel hook. Nope, I didn't get it on that one. I wound up getting it on the inside heel hook. I'm sorry, the 50-50.
Yeah, and I mean, this is that, you know, what some people call like Z-lock position. It's like the, it's like a straight ashi with an inside senkaku, like the triangle or the crossed ankles are on the inside. Actually, no, because his foot's across. So you're in cross ashi right now. Okay, you're just a bit more straight on than when you typically see it.
Yep.
Yeah. And now you're to outside. Okay.
Yep. So this gets into the 50-50 position, right? So you see that I have my triangle is set up so that he can't attack my legs. I have to peel away his left leg to try and get to his right foot. I've come through. Now I've got a very tight inverted heel hook or inside heel hook. I didn't see him trying to tap, and I saw him trying to move, so I let go. And I decided to go for a straight ankle is what I'm now my new strategy.
I just want to see how Matt and Jordan ended. So Jordan takes top position. Oh, okay. So Jordan gets on the back. All right, yeah. So Jordan takes him out from it's hard to see what sort of grip he's going for at this point, but maybe a little smothering action.
James is he's trying to attack Caleb's turtle, and I know he's very wary of the Makikomi. So you see he's staying head on with him to try and attack the front headlock position.
I like that strategy.
What's that?
So I like that strategy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's getting tougher and tougher on Caleb to hit that for that reason right there. He's getting very good at just like literally tossing you off when you go for that front headlock. He just rolls through with it and then extends away.
Josh and Jason haven't hit the mat yet. I'm pretty sure. Smacking each other in the face a couple times. There we go. All right, now Ronnie's in a position to work. She and Steven had pretty much been locked in open guard there for a while. Ronnie has opted to play from half guard.
There we go. Getting Steven to the weak side makes for a vulnerable pass.
Yeah, it's something Ronnie's done really well lately. I mean, I think we saw it when she did it with me maybe 2 or 3 streams ago where she ended up tapping me. But her cross-body pressure is like really, really good here. She's pinning Steven very well. Steven's arms are in a position where it's not easy for him to like plant his hands and extend and like stiff arm away. Meanwhile, she's got her right hand free to try to free her knee, which is, you know, a pretty significant part of passing from half guard, getting the knee free and then later getting your foot free. So she's doing a really great job controlling him as she's trying to advance, and she doesn't have to do anything too fancy to get by his bottom half guard. Then what happened with you and Austin? Looks like you got.
I get like a really weird straight ankle on him. So I actually get it on his left leg. I'm sitting on his left leg. That's why I've got my foot extended out. My right foot is extended, putting pressure down on his knee to keep his hip down. And then I just get this weird straight ankle lock on him.
Just making things up.
Yep. I'm an innovator, what can I say? As Austin would say.
Yeah. Must be contagious. He's trying to gather your legs. Nice step over. Yeah, now he's got to beat the hands. I'd like to see him. So he starts raising his hips here.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see him just kind of like, instead of like his hips coming up, I want to see him extend himself, like really dig in on his legs and then drive his body up underneath your shoulder, into your armpit where he was. He kind of gives up a little bit of space there as he brings his hips up. Whereas I have a feeling he could have more easily completed that pass right here without creating that space between like the chest to chest space that's there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was trying to invert to get back into cross-ashi there. Couldn't get the angle that I really wanted, but
I just want to see where Caleb and James landed. Caleb wrestling up.
Yeah.
Just ended the round. And then did Jason finish something here? I think so. So Jason gets into top half guard and looks to be attacking some either Kimura. Looks like an Americana when they break. All right, cool.
Yeah, that was Nogi spider guard. I see that now, James. You just tried to grab the wrist and push on the biceps.
You're wrong, Josh. You're 100% wrong. Somebody's got to give Brandon a roll.
Did I shoot on? I think I made it. Yeah, I shot. That was a stupid shot.
Jason.
Yeah, I was like, I was feeling him out, and like I kept getting him to kind of disengage, and I feel his hands coming off of me. So I'm like, I'm just gonna keep. I was gonna try and time it. I thought I felt him disengage with me, just briefly, and I went in for a shot off that, and he was right on top of me. Like, yeah, it was bad news.
On your back now.
Yeah, I wound up turning into it and getting on top, actually. I actually, like, a lot of times with the back takes, when people get really overzealous with it, but he turned me over. He actually did a Kimura trap on me. But when people get really overzealous with the back takes, I can sometimes turn that into a top position.
Ronnie's really getting after Cole here. So much is happening. Good control over Mitch's legs, really making him have to try to stretch that top leg over to get to re-guard. But then for Mitch here, when you're having trouble with these like outside passes coming in, closing the distance, I don't see your arms doing enough here. I want to see your hands right to James's hips, to try to prevent his hips from closing that space like he does right there. Now you could, possibly, not a sure thing, but you could plant your top foot here, try to shrimp back, create more space to get your knees in, etc. All the stuff you know. Let's see how Steven operates with the body lock against Austin. Much longer legs than you or I.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be so pissed if he just jumps over it again. Nice. Gets the hip up and then scoops by that knee.
Mm-hmm. That's good hip switching.
Yeah. And then Austin on the buggy strangle. Steven's like, oh yeah, no one ever does this to me. Oh, please get it. Oh my god. Sitting back on the leg.
Outside heel hook.
I trust Austin to tap on those, but like that looked like such a quick pull, like right
Yeah.
right here. Oh man.
Yeah, it looked like Steven even had the wherewithal to switch his grip into a stronger.
Cole, don't be lazy on those back takes. Absolutely no need to fall to your shoulder there. Sit to your butt, pull her up into your lap. You know this. What did Josh do? Josh got himself Katagatame. Okay.
Good.
from mounts. Looks like Matt was leaving his. Yeah, so Matt's pushing away. Normally we talk about, like, you know, we push on somebody's chest and that isolates our arm. Here Matt's pushing on the bicep. So not quite the same reaction that we showed that mistake with. But Josh takes advantage of it here, deflecting the arm by, getting his head to the outside, forehead to the mat. And I don't even think he dismounted. You're doing something new? I'm gonna guess it didn't work. If I was a guessing man. Steven deciding to rip arms now. Let's see how Steven got here. So, working from the body lock. Steps over with the one knee, switches the hips. Now playing from side control. Doing exactly what you like to do. Getting up to north-south and then picking an elbow. Digging on it. Good control over the head.
That was move of the night, right, Steven? Didn't Luke teach that?
There's a way to shut this Kimura down that I kind of use as a last ditch. That maybe I'll have to show it to Austin. But you actually weave your bottom arm up through his arms, and it makes it difficult, if not impossible, to actually finish the Kimura, and can just buy you like a little bit of time to maybe get your shoulders free, put your back to the mat. It's gotten me out of a pinch with you before. I know when I saw a Sean Williams video and he was talking about it like back at Blue Belt or something. Jordan doing real good here to get the. All right, cool. Let's look at Jordan and Andrew putting the standing guard break to work. So you get caught up here a little bit. I don't mind the reach back because you're standing. Your posture's good enough to where Andrew's not going to throw a triangle on you, but he just barely catches you, gives you a little bit of resistance. I'm glad you just kind of like, you didn't panic or try to overcorrect too hard. Then once you get the head out, keeping his hips and knees, keeping his knees pointed away from you and his hips off to the side, making the guard pass really, really easy. Basically the finish of a double underpass, but coming from the standing guard break. Active round. Caleb trying with the foot sweep. I like it.
I know Austin wasn't too thrilled after this round, so I didn't watch it.
Why?
I think because he didn't do as well as he had hoped.
Yeah, well, he's significantly outweighed here, so.
That was a, that was
Big old
a good
blast.
double. Yeah. Damn. That was good.
Yeah, I like the timing. There's, I mean, a little bit of a pause, which isn't a big deal, but Josh sets this up off of the just a snap down, you know, pulling down with the collar tie, and then quick level change.
You have to rip hands up.
I'd like to see you looking through Andrew here, Josh, not looking down at the ground. Just being picky. You know, posture is important on these. But yeah, barrels through Andrew, and then let's see what happens.
You definitely have to be careful when you do this. I mean, if Andrew's able to get his knees in front or between you two, he has, you know, your neck is definitely exposed here, right? It's not a great position for Andrew, but you are definitely susceptible to guillotines if you cannot get crossbody on them. I mean, you're past his hips there, so you're totally fine once you get above his, you know, above his legs and above his hips. But just know that, like, if you get trapped down in guard, or if he's able to get a barrier in between you two, then you could be in trouble.
Caleb opting for the leg lock instead of passing the guard of someone significantly smaller than him. Austin's giving him a good fight, though.
I mean, we all know he's very difficult to expose his heels. He's kind of learned some magical movements there. So.
Yeah, even before that though, like I thought Caleb was intending on the straight ankle. Like yeah, right in here. Is he digging on the heel? I don't know. So I guess just for Caleb, if you decide you want to go straight ankle here, like you're not in a bad spot. I like what you're doing, like leaning towards the ground here, getting your hips up a little bit. I'm guessing you're just a little too high up the leg, if that's what you were actually going for, and if it's not, whatever, that's fine. But like stepping on his hips to push your own hips away when you're hitting the straight ankle puts a lot of necessary braking pressure onto the ankle. Like right there, it's like he was going belly down almost. Here, your chin is a little too far away from your hands. I'd like to see you set your grip up, you know, make a closed connection, you know, hand to hand, and then, you know, bring yourself down. You could step your right foot on Austin's hip here, but bring your chin down towards your hands, push off of his hips to like send your hips down his leg. And then when you get locked in on that ankle, then you can start to, you know, pull your body straight, keep your hands near your chin, and get a good submission. Right now, you're just cranking on a calf, or where a calf would be if Austin had any. They are. Yeah, his shots are good, and his sprawls are even better. I see so many of you face planting because you shoot on Josh and he just sprawls very quickly away from you. Let's see. Just want to see Josh's armbar here. That was a good little switch, man. That was quick.
It was.
I'm assuming you felt confident in your wrist grip here to make that switch. Okay. That was good. You look like you're having a good time dealing with Cole's top pressure.
Yeah, that was about the time where my eyelid flipped up again. Yeah, I wind up just being able to oompa. I think because Cole goes for an Ezekiel on me, a no-gi Ezekiel. So he went for a no-gi Ezekiel. It didn't feel great on my neck, but I grabbed his elbow to make sure that he couldn't base out anymore, and then I just gave him some pretty strong bridges. And you can see I'm trying to use my power leg, my right foot to drive up and over, and then swing my left leg as a pendulum, try and get as much momentum out of that as I can.
Yeah.
And then when I end up on top, he astutely goes for that underhook because I'm like trying to get my bearings, right? And he immediately comes up and starts attacking a straight arm on me. And I had to give him everything I had to pummel over the face. But it was the shoulder crunch that he had on me was definitely in the right spot. I felt some torque on my shoulder and on my elbow, and I knew I needed to get the hell out of there. So that's what I go through here.
Looks like Andrew just had a good something going on with Josh. So, all right. Andrew sets up the guillotine and gets a sweep off of it. Arm in guillotine, okay. So, Andrew, I don't know if you're trying to go for the finish here. I'm not especially good at arm in guillotines. I can't say I've ever finished one from this like top half guard position. The thing you got to remember about arm in guillotines that I feel like I'm still trying to wrap my head around is I think it's a similar finish to a mandible strangle when, you know, we're on someone's back and we get over their jaw and not under their neck, and you have to tuck their chin down into their chest. You have to do the same thing in arm in guillotines, I think. That's what works best for me when I'm attempting them. Might be kind of difficult to do from top half guard. But either way, use that as an opportunity to pass if the submission isn't working for you, or if you can't switch to like a regular arm out guillotine. And then I like what you're thinking here, trying to come up over the back.
You trap yourself with your left arm. Yep. So I really liked how Andrew was trying to use his left arm to come back and heist up the hips. I wish he would have been a little bit more, like assertive with that. Like kept trying with it, because I think that's the only reason he didn't get the back take here.
Yeah. I think with let's see. I like his right arm position, grabbing at the lat.
Yep.
That's going to make it difficult for Josh to get that arm back. I think one thing that could have helped, it looks like he's got his left hook very deep here, which you think is a good thing. I think he could pull his knee out a little bit and get it underneath him, get himself up onto that knee without sacrificing the hook and its ability to keep him attached to Josh's legs. Everything about this conceptually is the right idea. I really like it. I'm curious if right there he started to get up and then he tried to pull Josh down. This is
fall into it.
Yeah. I would try to commit to the top, to getting the back from this against the turtle position essentially, and then break him down after that, with the power half Nelson or something similar if he depending on how he responds. Don't rely on that pull to get him moving, because now you're just on your back. Now you lose it.
The way that I kind of think about it is like, if I prioritize the hooks unless the spines are aligned, right? Like unless I'm in full alignment with my partner, I'm gonna completely prioritize the hooks. But like if I'm in this spot and we have full spine alignment, I've got a good solid upper body grip, then I'm okay only having one hook in, right? So like that's just the two different ways that I'm thinking about the back. I'm trying to prioritize the hooks because that's going to help me get to the spine alignment. But if for whatever reason I'm already there and I have one hook in, then I'm good to go. Like I can go a high ball ride or switch to a crossbody ride or something like that.
Switch focus here to James and Steven.
They haven't gone down at all this round.
No, they almost do. What's up, Cody? So James locks on this good-looking guillotine, and I can't tell there. I don't know if James or Steven, you can clarify if you thought Steven tapped or said tap or something, or if you Brazil tapped. Steven's a known Brazil tapper. Long history of Brazil taps from Steven. This would be a spot where an arm in guillotine, I think, it would be easier to hit. Or, I don't know if I should say easier. It's just more traditionally where you see it.
If you can get to the right hip, then the strangle's there, right? You don't need the left arm across the throat. You can use the shoulder.
And Josh finishes strong here, it looks like. No, he definitely tapped, and then he said he didn't. It's typical Steven. Good control over that arm, Josh. Quick little straight arm right at the end.
What's up, Pinball? Thanks for the subscription, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Looks like everybody's wiped out from that round. Big drive to finish that double on Brandon.
He didn't make it easy. And then even here, the regarding is really tough to stave off his legs while dealing with his upper body grips. Yeah. Like you could see how much hip switching I'm doing to try and break down his upper body frames, and I'm using my hands to try and keep his legs at bay so he can't get his knees in. And it felt like forever. That felt like 30 seconds to just try and get through.
Yeah.
And then I get regarded on. I'm like, now I gotta go do it all over again.
Did James and Steven just agree to start down this time? Yeah, it looks like it. Okay. Oh, yeah. You said that. Cole's making Jordan suffer a little bit here. Jordan's doing a good job shimmying out of this, just little by little. Something, Jordan, you could try to play with here. I've been doing it a lot lately. When I feel like I'm basically out, which you are here. You're very much misaligned from Cole. The last kind of nail in the coffin for anybody's back attack attempts is when your elbow gets to the ground between you and your opponent. So Cole doesn't have a strangle here, and if you just straightened this arm out, just like fully, up like you're asking a question, and then start to turn your body down and like pull your shoulder to the ground and then pull your elbow to the ground, you can get that elbow wedge between you and him pretty easily and pretty quickly. And then you've got your elbow tight next to your body, which is of course the safest place for it to be. I think people probably don't initially do that little like arm raise because you think you're isolating your own arm, but your opponent doesn't really have any immediate attacks on your arm from there. He's not gonna switch up into an arm bar or anything. His bottom leg is pinned by your body, so he can't do that. But just I find it's a really quick, easy way to turn all the way towards him and completely end his back attack. Whereas here, if you kind of stay gripped and you give him this loop to connect to with your closed arms, he could just kind of hold on, maybe try to pull you back over, realign himself some way. Look at a baby makes a diaper suffer. See how Cole got into mount here.
Okay. Hooks the leg.
Caleb being pretty tenacious up against Josh here by the wall. So Josh gets on his back. I like that Caleb's taking no time to try to take top position here. Once he sneaks out of turtle position, just immediately on the attack to get Josh on his back.
Yeah, you'll see that against me too. Next couple rounds, where he's going for that. I noticed that as a change in his game, he was a lot more creating opportunities rather than just kind of waiting for them.
Yeah. Jordan, you're playing really defensively here, and that's a compliment. You were a little, like Cole had an opportunity there, I think, to throw up an armbar that you took away from him by just staying composed, keeping your arms in a safe spot. Now you're looking to pass his guard, which is really good. Andrew playing around with some leg attacks over here. So he's in a, I wouldn't call it now, he's getting into cross-ashi. He was in a spot there, looking at Andrew by the pillar, where he actually has both of Austin's legs gathered up in his legs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a special name for that sort of Ashigurami or not, but...
I mean, it's a cross-ashi, but it's harder to isolate a specific leg, you know?
tickle Josh into submission. What kind of, you know, we broadcast this. Anyone in the world can watch this. We've got viewers from other countries, from other states. You're a representative of our school, and you two are tickling each other into submission. What does that say about?
It's the gentle art, man.
It is the gentle art. That's true. Maybe they're more close to the true essence of jiu-jitsu than we are, tickling each other.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm just glad they're the furthest from the camera right now. Would never tap to a tickle. Now fully expect to be tickled next time I see you. I'm coming over to the dark side. Or maybe that's the light side, I don't know.
I think this is the round that Steven messes me up.
It's like Cole's just practicing more like body checking in hockey than he is jiu-jitsu. So what? Maybe that's just, see what you guys are costing us money. Yeah. Cole and Josh had an untelevised scrap to see who gets to keep the purple rash guard. Cole won. So let's see, how long does that go on? So Cole, you're stuck in this this over under. I mean, it's basically like an over under. I always refer to it as like your more Greco-Roman style grip that you have, because I think you use this quite a bit. I want to reintroduce you to the pinch headlock from here. You know, Josh is resisting this by getting his hips far away from you. Like he's posting on your hips to create space between the two of you. But right here, if you switch, you're gonna have to switch what side your head's on relative to Josh's head. So you're gonna bring, you know, your right ear would come across. You know, Josh's head would be on your right ear. You would shoot this arm like kind of towards the lion, shoot this leg towards the lion, and basically sit through into Kesa. From there, you're gonna do some of like what we talked about, I think a week or two ago. One of the last times I was there, kind of body surfing over your opponent to side control. You could move to like the T Kimura position if you make sure you hold the arm very well in Kesa Gatame. But I don't want to see you wasting too much time and energy here. You can still get a takedown. It's just not going to be, you know, a body fold, a hip toss. You know, like you just have to redirect what you're doing. You have a very effective grip here. You can just sit through and take them down.
And you have a Sotogari too, right? Like you can try and reap the leg, because if you notice, like every time Josh is trying to circle you, his right leg is really close to your right leg, right? So like you can you can sit through, right? Like that's a viable option. But imagine you just continue to walk towards us, and you know step through Josh, and then peel your right leg back, you know, like back heel.
Yeah.
And you would have an Otogari.
Yeah, that's a good point. Right here, this would be a perfect time to hit one, just because Josh's head is right over his foot. That foot is loaded up. He's not going to be able to effectively hit one on you. You know, that Osotogari, when you first learn it, the way they just demonstrated, it's very 50-50. The way you make it, you know, more in your favor is breaking down that posture, getting the head over or behind the foot, and then going for it. This is a perfect frame where you can see the vulnerability. It's a really good point, Mike. crucifix.
Yeah, and then basically a hip
Damn.
toss from a get up.
That was a hell of a scramble. That was cool.
Yeah.
Caleb, you keep your hands off pinball. You've done enough damage. Steven looking for the 10 finger on you?
Yeah.
You want your...
Like 1 of 3. I don't know, Steven, how many we'll have to count.
You want your
But it
whole
like
head.
it. Yeah, I was in no position to do anything from here. Like I was like, oh, I'll get up and try and hit a double. Nope.
You look
I
super...
was way too threatened.
Yeah, you were really like your leg is out in front of you, so you're not gonna move forward.
Right. You see how I'm trying to pull my right leg back so that I could
Yeah.
sit up. There was no way that I was gonna effectively do anything there.
Yeah, that was a good
So it
switch
goes
for Steven to go to the back.
Oh yeah. I've seen. I mean, he's been hitting this a lot actually. Like when he's training, I've seen him do it, and like this way he was able to like keep me down towards my heels, right? So like I didn't have any sort of swivel room. You wanted me to. That was not going to happen. I'll pass out on the mat before I tap to that. No, I'm partially kidding.
Let's see how Matt handles Austin. Actually, let's
Pretty
see
deep.
how...
Austin handles pass.
Yeah, so I'm watching this. I think to maybe the untrained eye, it would look like Austin's in a lot of trouble here. I think Austin's letting himself get a little deep into these submissions to like work some maybe some later escapes. Reason I say that, like, he's not too active from here. You know, Matt's setting up his attack. Look how like Austin kind of lets this get pretty far before he starts addressing it, and I don't think he would have done that with you or I necessarily.
Yeah.
So here, I'm gonna give Austin some credit. I think he knows that he's probably pretty safe because he is misaligned with Matt. So he's like, all right, I guess I'll address the neck now. I'll just get him off me. He doesn't have a strangle. This whole time, it looks bad for Austin, but like, I don't really think he's in much trouble. It's so weird saying that, even with Matt's forearm under Austin's chin.
Yeah, but look at how far his hips are. Like
Exactly.
his hips are almost off the mat. He's basically just going to slip his butt down to the mat here.
Yep.
And then right down there. Oh, so he got his shoulders down first.
Exactly.
Right.
And this is
Yes.
yeah, this is where we could start to see that elbow. You know, once it's between you and your opponent's got nothing, you know.
He's pushing on the knee too. That's also another confidence thing that comes along with it. I don't like, again, very very subtle detail, but you see, Jordan, we were just talking about you, right? So Austin knows that he's in the clear. As soon as he feels like he's in the clear for the strangle, his hands come down into frames, right? So now he's coming from, pulling and defending the strangle. Now he's like, all right, cool. I have no danger for the strangle. So now I'm going to start setting up my frames. His left hand comes down and frames on the leg. And now he's going to start trying to pull his knees to his butt. And he winds up pulling into half guard. But if you can imagine, he can also shoot up for an ashi if he's able to get Matt onto the other hip, right? So one way or the other, he's able to regard. And, here he winds up getting back up on top. But that's like, somebody who's very confident that they've gotten out of the back and are now trying to set up more offensive movements. Steven, I wanted this like double armbar, whatever. Like it was so brief, but it felt like it was gonna be something. Like as soon as I came up here,
Oh, from the double
and then I
underhooks.
built up, and then I like my right leg came up over top of the shoulder. I was like, yes. And then he just shut it down. It was so fleeting, but felt good.
Oh, dude, Steven would not hear the end of it if he got caught in a double armbar deep into his blue belt.
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm trying. So here, I've had a really hard time. Steven's doing it. I mean, granted, we're in close guard, right? Not in the body lock, but he does a really good job of keeping his elbows in very tight and preventing me from isolating an arm and coming out with like a straight arm lock or a shoulder crunch. And so a strategy that I'm trying to employ here is instead of going for a shoulder crunch, which would be effectively my arm isolating a single arm, right? Just the arm and shoulder, is now I'm trying to capture the head and arm, right? And go for that pinch headlock type of position. And, I don't know. I feel so much stronger isolating a single arm than I do in this pinch headlock position.
Yeah, I can't say I play with that too much.
I've seen Gordon do it. Obviously, Gordon, it's just
he's a little better than you.
He's a little better. I've seen him pull it off in a number of matches, and I'm just like, all right, I should be able to do this. haven't been able to figure it
out. Swing back to Austin, and he gives Matt a lesson here in what he should have done. So Austin sets up with this Nogi Ezekiel first, which I didn't see before. That's going to give Matt a reason to get his hands off of Austin's legs and hips. No, it should have, I guess. Oh, okay. It did for the left arm. So Austin uses that as an opportunity to set up a gift wrap and then the back take, which pretty classic, simple transition from mount to back, immediately to the body triangle, because he can do that, and we're all very jealous of him. And now he goes into the straitjacket method, which is really fun to watch. So, bottom side underhook from Austin, grabbing Matt's top wrist, brings it down below the chest. That makes it easy for him to leg trap. And he opts to pull the leg all the way back and not relock his body triangle.
He's got leg to do it.
Yeah, super jealous. I would do the same if I could. And then now he switches to a same side top hand grip on Matt to get both arms out of control. Now he has his own top side arm, his right arm, as a strangle arm against Matt's chin. And look at what Matt's doing. This is a good good example of like why you could be really confident with the straitjacket. You know, Matt's thinking, all right, let me try to trap, like bend on his foot or something. He's doing what he can with the limited mobility of his arms. Doesn't matter at this point. Austin's in on the strangle. Looks like he doesn't even totally get under the chin, but he's got like a mandible strangle set up, maybe a little bit of a crank too. Puts it on him and gets the finish. And if I know Austin, he was probably like, yeah, I didn't tap to yours, but you tapped to mine. Being all smug and sure of himself. And not in the chat. I don't know where he's been. I'm gonna have to give him some shit.
So this is the set. Oh, okay, so it was two. It was two, and then there was the rear naked attempt. This one,
from Steven.
Yeah, I didn't think Steven was gonna let go of this. Like,
he normally doesn't.
So I went up. I tried to shoot into the legs from a closed guard break, or like a standing closed guard break. He comes up, goes into that that 100%er type grip, right, or whatever it is, the
Like cow
under
catcher.
there. What's that? Cow catcher.
Cow catcher.
Yeah, it's a cow catcher. And then slips his right arm out, I think. Yep. And then goes in for the I don't know how he did that, but I guess his left arm was the one that went in for the
5-finger.
the guillotine. And then he goes in and he's able to switch into this, like, I don't know how he was able to really get his arm in this position, right? But he's like got a fully locked guillotine. My chin is like all the way in my chest here, and he's in side control.
That's
and
weird.
I'm like rotating so much to try and get his arm like behind his into a Kimura essentially, and he just would not let go of it at all. And I'm just sitting here gurgling the entire time, and eventually it breaks loose.
The bell rang.
Yeah.
You were so done. If you had a minute left, Steven. All right, Hamas and Brandon.
Yeah. No, it was a strong guillotine.
Yeah, that's a strange angle. How do you hit it from?
Yeah, I was not expecting. I was like, oh, okay, I'll be able to slip out. And no, not a chance.
James just sit for this one. Okay.
Brandon's stand-up, James, since you were in Thailand, his stand-up and his guard passing and retention has gone through the roof.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Yeah,
to hold guard against him and to stand with him, because he'll hit a go behind on you in no time flat.
Yeah, his arm drags are very effective.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I think I was talking about this on the last stream, how much I'm focusing on grips when people get behind me. It's largely because I try to spend time preventing you guys from like taking advantage of those angles, and like turns out like you're just gonna find them anyway, and I need to make sure that I can get out of it when you guys inevitably end up getting behind me. So it's like, all right, now I just have to foolproof getting lifted off the mat and put down, because I just can't stop some of you from hitting these arm drags or go behinds or anything. So Steven almost with a little overhook hip toss here, like just about gets the Uchimata with the overhook, which I really like that. I really like that variation. Jason not having it.
I think I hit the wrong way triangle on Josh. I can't remember which one it was. I was switching between two of them before this.
Oh.
Like we just reset.
Yeah, it looks like the wrong way.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how I set it up. I'll wind up getting an arm trapped here. I'm coming across, and he's doing a really good job of not letting me cut my normal angle. And so here I'm coming in. I wind up switching it up to having my right leg shoot all the way through. I lock up a wrong way triangle, and you'll see, like, I know we've probably talked about it, and it's hard to explain on how high up on your shoulders you have to be. Like, even for this, I wanted to be even higher.
Yeah.
I was trying to drag Josh up higher with my hips. And what you can't see here is how far down my right knee is pointing. My right knee is like damn near down to the mat. I'm trying to drop it below his ear. So his left ear and my right knee is below his left ear. And that's the only way that I would be able to get to a strangle type of a scenario. Otherwise, it would either be a crank on the neck, or it would allow me to start exposing his arm for like a Kimura or some sort of shoulder lock.
Yeah, all of that, like the hip height, the pointing of the knees, everything really exemplified by where your quad is behind his head. Like,
yeah,
if your hips were any lower, your leg could not be behind his head, and like that's all super essential into finishing that strangle. And you could see here what's cool about the wrong way. When you get really good with it, you could see the frame here. Josh is pulling his arm out from the Kimura position.
Yep.
So that's exactly where everybody hides their hand. So they hide their hand, they hug the waist, and they grab the inside of their thigh. You know, Gordon Ryan's really good with this. The most popular video, I think, as an example, is his match against, what is it, Henner Gracie? That timed match that they did. He finished that with a wrong way triangle, which was the first time I'd ever seen that. So when people hide their arm and you think that you can't Kimura them, you can't cut your angle to the front triangle, you have the wrong way triangle if you work on this and get good at getting that angle. Oh, pinball, yeah, to Steven's. Oh, yeah, I think he's talking about Steven's Uchimata attempt there. Yeah. Yep. Felt more like a crank.
Good.
Yeah, you would say that.
Tell me how this next one felt too.
Oh, fighting words. Tough talk for a guy who can't find the Pikachu emote.
Yeah, right.
We should get Josh a Mooresville BJJ rash guard, but instead of the lion, it'll be the Pikachu emote. I'm sure Luke would hate that so much. Yeah, going for another one on the other side now.
We wound up in the same type of configuration here. Again, doing a really good job trying to stack me and hide his right arm. So I can always play this battle, right? Like, in order for him to relieve the pressure on his shoulder and or, you know, hide his arm, he has to turn the other way, which means that if I switch my legs, I can go for the standard triangle, right? And so, like, we can always go back and forth on this battle as long as I keep my legs locked up at the top here. Okay, that's a standard triangle. And he was kind of turning again. Didn't realize that maybe I had switched my leg configuration, and he started going to tighten up the strangle.
Jordan, it looked like you're trying to work some smother pressure here. Keep in mind, and I've said this since smothers became in vogue at the school, it's great for a submission, but remember what it really gives you, which is open elbows. Like Andrew spent a bit of time here with that elbow up, which is time for you to recollect, because you did have it. Time for you to recollect that arm and move onward. You know, you'll get a smother tap with that arm collected, so just keep that in mind. Keep, like, if you don't have an underhook with that arm way up over the head, make that a priority. So lay on some smother pressure, sure, but just make sure that you're immediately collecting when you can. Felt more like a crank guy once. Big baby award in front of everybody.
That's awesome.
That's killer. Oh, we should do that. We should have like the Morsies or something, like a yearly award, like the the Razzies yearly awards for all the students. You like you know, wrist locker of the year, biggest baby, worst hairline. That would just be Caleb every year.
All right, so one thing I want to call out to what I'm doing. I don't know if we really talk about this when we talk about half guard, but what I'm doing by sitting down, like we talk about, you know, your opponent having arms across their belly button, right, and like across the midline, and being able to attack their back and have back exposure. When I'm in half guard and I'm against somebody who's really pressuring into me and they have an underhook, one thing that I can do instead of being very aggressive with my underhook, I can play on the opposite side of my body, and I can go for a double scoop grip on the arm, you know, on the far side. What that does is it always gives me the opportunity for an underhook. So as soon as Caleb lets up on me in any way, I have an underhook because I'm fully under his body. Now here he lets up and does something that I really wasn't expecting, but I just kind of like went with like his weight shift.
Just with how he disengaged.
Yeah, he kind of like disengaged with me, and I wasn't really anticipating it, but since he did it, I just went with it, you know.
Yeah, take the sweep.
I wanted to, yeah, taking the sweep, because I was like, well, shit, if it was kind of almost given to me, right? So I'm just gonna take it. But I just want to call that out, is like, if somebody's denying you that underhook, playing onto the other side, as long as your legs are in a good position, right, and you're locked up in a good half guard, you can play on that single side, and it always gives you access to that underhook. It's something that I learned from Tom, I think last year or maybe the year before, either through one of his videos or one of the seminars that I was at. So I don't know, something to play with if you guys are interested.
Yeah, I think when you learned that, you brought it back and we were playing around with that. If you collect that far arm, like a 2-on-1, kind of like that, like you're carrying a log, that kind of grip, and then use your knee shield, it's one of the most stupid easy sweeps that you can get. Like you're pushing them in the direction of that arm where they have no post anymore because you've collected that arm, but you so often forget about that because you think you've been told numerous times by your coaches to fight for the underhook, you know, on the top side.
Yep.
Steven with little outside heel hook. See how he got there. From standing. All right, pulls in. Nice, good mount defense. Yeah, Cole's just leaving his leg behind. Nice of you to not rip it off. Let's see how you're dealing with Caleb's Galapagos size turtle.
So yeah, I really felt like he either felt like I was starting to make his turtle vulnerable, or he was going to try and shoot into my legs. I don't know which, but you'll see the way that I'm sitting into this, like, I don't know what to call it, but my right knee going into his hip, right? Like I'm trying to drive my right knee into his hip in order to break his turtle down. But notice that I'm facing back towards his feet when I do this. So now when he goes to invert on me and roll in order to capture my legs, which I think is what he was really going after here, I'm able to follow along with him and just ride his legs the entire way. It's the same concept as somebody trying to pull, like, to elevate you in butterfly and you keeping your knees pinched together. It's the same concept.
Steven and Cole were screaming their taps this round.
I was too hyper focused on not letting Caleb get up.
Yeah, Josh, you might be right. You might get the worst hairline award over Caleb. But you guys could fight for it every year. Go back to Steven. Are you telling me to rewind to something Steven did?
He got you with the big quickness.
With the what?
With the quickness.
Oh. Missed that. That was quick. It happened so fast. Didn't see it. Nasty armbar.
Arm. Damn.
Damn, dude.
So I wound up getting onto the back here from Caleb, and I don't exactly know how I did it. So again, I'm trying to use my right knee to sit right inside of the hip crease there, and then Caleb's doing this thing to where he's coming around. It's I've seen it in wrestling, right? Is where he's trying to come around with his right hand and capture my foot, or at least, reach through and grab my knee around the outside in order to flatten me out and be able to basically lay back on top of me. And when he goes through to do that, I'm basically hugging his hip and or grabbing a head and arm grip and pulling him back into a back attack position, right? So I'm just laying back into this into it, but I'm not able yet to secure both hooks in. So I'm still trying to play this dicey game of how do I really break this turtle down?
You do it with a simple hip pull. So this is like the trade-off in how you play turtle. If you play really wide, a big wide base, you give your opponent, you would like, if Caleb was super wide right now with his base, Mike could easily slip that right knee in. The knee you've been mentioning, you slip that in, you get to set up your hooks. If you play a very tight base, you're very prone to being tipped off balance. So, you're doing this thing, you're trying to drive the knee in. He knows that. He's making it very difficult, keeping very little space there. But then you can switch it up to this hip pull while his base is really narrow.
Yep. And
get him off balance. That opens up the entire side of the body. Now you looks like you don't have the hook in yet, but it's enough to make him work. Now the far hook is in. Well, he's got his hand on it, but that's a hand not defending his neck.
Exactly. Yeah, and so that's a good point. So I'm going through that battle too, right? It's like I'm trying to get my right hook in, and he's clearly not letting me do this. He rolls and then he winds up hip switching, and like in this time I'm like, well shit, I better go for the neck, because maybe that'll distract him enough so that way I can get a solid position. So I'm trying to go for the neck here. He leaves it open a little bit, and I'm just hoping that I can get that other hook in to get a decent position.
Yeah.
I still don't think I can.
It's just like when we're in mount and we talk about getting our opponent's hands away from, like when we want to get their hands off the hips, we bug the neck. When we want to, like, You give them something to defend with their hands, and then all of a sudden, like in this case, you can get your hooks in because they have to. Well, they're either going to choose to protect their neck or they're going to choose to defend their hips. So give them something to fight you on, and then advance. Damn, Jason almost had his Kimura on Josh. Cole's working to get his revenge.
I've still have yet to get 2 hooks in on Caleb.
There's some solid pressure from Cole. Let's see what happened. I'm trying to watch like you and Caleb and Steve and Cole at the same time. This. Surprised he went back down. I guess you didn't give him a choice there.
I don't know. It was probably really slippery too.
Yeah.
We were pretty sweaty, so he may have just slipped right back down to the mat.
Yeah, if you guys want the secret to beating Mike in a round, it's make him stand up and shoot on you for 6 minutes. It gets him really tired.
Yeah, that's a true story.
Like Caleb, you could just make him try to take you down for 5.5 minutes, and then when he's ready to vomit at 29 seconds left, going for the kill. Now you get your hooks in.
Yeah, finally got the hooks in.
Yeah.
And this is a variation of what we call post rear mount, right? So my right hook is playing a long hook across the hip, and then my left foot is either going sole to sole, or I'm slightly crossing them over top of the hip line in order to close the circle around Caleb.
Yeah, this is, I think, pinball. When you brought up to us a couple weeks ago, your hatred / envy for body triangles. This is that other grip that we were talking about with the legs, that post rear mount. This is where you'll find me half the time, just because I don't get body triangles on anybody. Jason wanted that throw so bad. Oh, Caleb's in some trouble.
He is, but I don't get him.
Oh, damn. Oh, man.
You see me and Caleb just stop to watch our faces.
So let's just look at this in slow-mo real quick.
You need to pay for that ride.
So Josh, recognize here you're in a workable spot too, right? Jason obviously gets a drop on you with this. Man, I love this. So, Jason, we all know how strong Jason is, so this probably isn't like that big of a deal. If you want to hit this with a little less strain on your back as you go to pick him up, just give him a little lift with your back leg, the leg that's behind him. Just pick him up with your thigh, get a little bit more of a boost, and maybe take a little bit of the load off your back and then slam.
I feel, I don't know, Josh, was it a rough ride down? It looked like he tried to settle it a little bit with his hand going down on the mat before he landed.
We'll look at full speed, not speed and a quarter. Yeah, that was friendly.
He did.
They're just joshing around, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, that was really funny. Damn, fun. Last 10 seconds of the evening. Very good, very good. Cool stuff. I wish I could have been there Monday. Wish I could have witnessed that slam in person. Yeah, you got me, Jordan. Cool. Yeah, I'll either be up there tomorrow or maybe on the weekend. Depends on how my neck's feeling. Visited by my semi-annual neck pain from rolling randomly. So yeah, that was a little shorter. That was only 40 minutes of footage. Still, we reviewed it for about an hour and a half, but that's just what we do here. So I hope you guys got some stuff out of that. Let's see. Tomorrow, Guy with Luke, continuing on with side control. Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. And Pinball, thanks for the sub, man. Appreciate you. 3 months. Yeah, it's awesome. In fact, what's your... okay, yeah, you got the blue belt badge. James is still leading the charge with the brown belt. In any case. What else? What's upcoming?
April 1st, we've got Veronica competing in a super fight.
Yep. That's
and
out
2 other tournaments. I don't know if anyone's interested in the ones in April 1st. I haven't heard of anyone signing up.
Yeah.
But if you're interested, definitely come and talk to one of us or Luke or Mike, one of the coaches. Let us know. We'll study the rules, go over them with you, make sure that we know what we're up against, and make sure that you have somebody to go and support you while you're there.
There's also, the camera will be on tomorrow.
Yep.
So whatever you're thinking about doing, just make sure it looks good and make sure you know where the camera's at. April 29th is New Breed as well. That's New Breed in Charlotte. So if you guys didn't want to sign up for PBJJF or Good Fight out of Morrisville, New Breed will be in Charlotte at the end of April. So get ready for that one if you guys want to compete there. Other than that, I think we're on as usual. So
yep.
In any case, follow here if you're not. If you're lurking, and subscribe if you can. You can use your Twitch Prime. Really supports the chat or supports us. And subscribe over at YouTube as well. We'll post this for you guys to review. And yeah, I think that's about it. We'll leave it at that. So go trim your nails and do your laundry. Don't be stinky. And we'll see you guys up at class.
Later.
Take it easy, guys.